Dolly friends, and welcome to Toodles and Friends Vintage Doll Series. Before we get started, we want to welcome all the new faces here. Hello, and thank you for joining our Dolly fun and becoming a part of the Little Wattle Nursery family. We are so happy you have joined us for the Toodles and Friends Vintage Doll Series. As our regular viewers know well, we enjoy collecting all kinds of different dolls, and we are so excited to finally showcase some of the vintage dolls in our collection. In our Toodles and Friends Vintage Doll Series, we will showcase a couple of dolls each week, plus share the names we have chosen for them. And make sure you stick around until the end of today's video because we finish with some fun dolly roleplay. So without further ado, let's get on with the first part of this three-part series. In this week's video, we are showcasing 3 of our American character dolls from the 1950s. Let's start with introducing you to my Toodles toddler doll. She is the most recent vintage doll to join our collection. We recently did a box opening for this Toodles doll, and I will include the video link in the description box below if you're interested in checking it out. As promised, I'm announcing her name today. So please welcome Cherry to Little Wattle Nursery. I have not been able to source Toodles dolls in Australia, so I've had to search overseas instead. I acquired my Toodles doll from Lynn Burns, one of my dolly friends in the US, who is both a vintage doll collector and restorer. Lynn has an incredible vintage doll collection and she's very knowledgeable about the history of dolls. If you're interested in seeing more of Lynn's doll collection, she has an Instagram page and an Etsy account, and I will include those details in the description box below. Cherry is going to be the big sister of 2 of my other Toodles dolls. Down here we've got Rosie, and here's Audrey. As you can see from my collection, there were different versions made of Toodles. So I'm now going to provide you with some history about this doll and explain more about the company who made the Toodles doll and show you the different types of Toodles there are that you can collect. The Toodles doll was made by the American Character Doll Company, which was founded in 1919. They also traded under other names such as ACDC and ACDC, which I'll pop up on the screen, and the American Doll and Toy Corporation. This company mainly specialised in manufacturing dolls, and their most popular dolls included Tiny Tears, Tressie, Butterball, Sweet Sue, and of course, Toodles. The American Character Doll Company began with composition dolls and later switching their formula to their own secret formula called Paratex in the mid-1930s. Paratex is a hard rubber and is heavier, stronger and more durable than composition. Paratex dolls are often mistaken for composition dolls. The American Character Doll Company then evolved into making plastic and vinyl dolls. In fact, they were the first company to produce mass-marketed rubber dolls in the United States. In 1951, the company partnered with competitors, the Ideal Toy Company and the Alexander Doll Company, to establish the United States Israeli Toy and Plastic Corporation, designed to produce materials for toys in Israel and the US. Unlike Mattel, who maintains sole manufacturing and global distribution rights for their Barbie doll, the American Character Doll Company allowed the Regal Toy Company of Canada to manufacture and sell its own version of the Tressie doll, and I'll put a picture of it up on the screen. Now, the Regal Toy Company, their version had a heavier eye and facial makeup. There was also a Palitoy Tressie doll sold in the UK and a Bella Tressie doll made and marketed by Society Bella in France. As I've explained before in a couple of our videos, in the doll industry, there is a history of intellectual property exchange deals made between companies, which is why the F and C words, the words fake and copy, should not be assumed and carelessly used in the doll community. Just because a doll looks like another doll on the market, it does not automatically mean that it's been copied or is a fake. When companies like the American Character Doll Company sold or licensed their intellectual property rights of their doll designs to others, they made a handsome sum of money from it. In 1968, the American Character Doll Company went bankrupt, and some of their assets were acquired by their other competitors. Moulds for some toys were sold to Mattel, and the Ideal Toy Company acquired the defunct company's dies, patents, and trademarks. What this means is that the acquiring company could legally manufacture and profit from the dolls using those intellectual property rights. The American Character Toy Company named several of their dolls Toodles over the years, starting way back in the 1930s. They created an 18-inch Toodles doll with a composition head and moulded painted blonde hair, open mouth, and with a special mechanism so that the eyes only slept when the doll was lying down with its head turned to the left. It has rubber bent arms and legs and is marked petite on the head and on the body, and is also marked with a horseshoe symbol and petite pat pending. Between 1937 and 1949, they created a 17-inch tall doll made of rubber composition called Paratex. It had a mama crier and a drink and wet rubber tube inside the body. Dolls had moulded, painted brown hair, sleep eyes, and an open mouth. This doll is unmarked, and similar looking dolls marked with Toddles is actually made by the Atlas Doll and Toy Company, not the American Character Doll Company. Between 1955 and the 1960s, the company made both Toodles and Toodles Toddler dolls that look similar to the ones that I have in my collection. They came in various sizes between 19 to 30 inches tall. The larger standing dolls were generally made with a vinyl head and a plastic body, and the smaller dolls were generally made with vinyl. Some Toodles dolls have multi-jointed bodies, including elbows and knees, whilst others have straight arms and legs. Some Toodles dolls have rooted hair, while others had moulded hair. They have flirty, sleepy eyes, and some have a drink and wet system. They have an open mouth, and in 1960 to 61, the little girl Toodles dolls have teeth with an open mouth and flirty eyes, just like this little lady over here. Some toddler dolls have walking mechanisms too. Some Toodles dolls, and they were called the Toodles Action Doll, can kneel, sit and play and assume many different positions. So that's this little lady over here. And some rare early dolls are marked Toodles, while others are marked AM, AMER9, American Car, or unmarked. Between 1959 and 1960, they made a teeny Toodles doll that was only 11 inches tall, made of all vinyl with either moulded or rooted hair. It had a drink and wet system and a 5-piece jointed body. Between 1959 and 1960, they made a Tommy Toodles doll that stands 22 to 23 inches tall. Now, Tommy is Toodles' brother, and he has moulded brown hair that's been painted, a 5-piece toddler body with straight legs and flirty sleep eyes. He has an open mouth and is a drink and wet doll. He was originally dressed in a blue and white striped short sleeve shirt, blue suspended shorts and white shoes and socks. And this doll was marked Amer Caracol Corp, copyright symbol, and I'll pop that up on the screen. One day I hope to add a Tommy to my collection. And adding to further confusion about the Toddles doll, a Toddles doll was also made by the Atlas Doll and Toy Company. The American Character Doll Company created a Toddles doll in 1959. The doll was made in various different sizes, including 19, 23 to 24 and 26 inches tall. Now, this particular doll has a vinyl head with rooted curly hair or braided with a curly fringe, or what Americans call bangs. Flirty, sleepy eyes, drink and wet system, an open mouth, 5-piece plastic jointed body with straight legs. Walker doll. The doll is marked Americara Doll Corp with a copyright symbol 1960. I'll pop that up on the screen. Now, my Cherry, she's a 24-inch doll that has peekaboo eyes that follow you. I'm just going to show you. How cool is that? Can you see how her eyes are following? Super, super cool. She has the most popular hair colour for Toodles, auburn. More rarer Toodles have dark brown curly hair that almost looks black. Now, Cherry has the most beautiful rooted sarin hair that is just in amazing condition for her age. She is dressed in a gorgeous pink and lime green floral dress with a gorgeous red ribbon accent at the waistband that matches the red bow on her frilly socks. How gorgeous. And she has black patent leather shoes that really completes this outfit beautifully. Also has the sweetest matching pair of bloomers with lace trim. So gorgeous hair from the back, and she has this really sweet bow at the back of the dress. And here you can see on the back it says the Ideal Toy Company 1960 and the copyright logo that I was talking about before. My other Toodles doll is Rosie. She's a full vinyl doll with straight arms and legs. She has very thick rooted auburn hair and she has an open mouth. She's a drink and wet doll and she's wearing this gorgeous pink vintage Polly Flinders dress. So here she is without her dress on, and you can see she has the straight arms and legs. So that was one of the other versions that I was telling you about. And she's got gorgeous blushing on her cheeks and hands and knees. What a cutie pie. So there she is, standing up straight. Under this thick mane of hair, you can see her markings. And that was one of those markings I was talking about before. My other Toodles doll is Audrey, and she's a full vinyl doll with moulded hair. She is the Toodles Action doll, which was marketed as a doll that's just like a real baby. She drinks, wets, is washable, and they claim unbreakable. This multi-jointed body enables the doll to sit, kneel, and play and assume many different positions. Her head can also be moved in different directions. She has an opening mouth. She's a drink and wet doll. And Audrey is wearing this gorgeous green gingham vintage Little Billy sundress with matching bloomers. So as you can see, these knees can move in all sorts of directions, and the same with the arms, and the head has got lots of movement too. See, she's a little sleepy doll. Oh, there she is with her little knees up trying to crawl. Oh, will she be able to get up? Let's see.
Yeah.
Go, Toodles, she's up. Oh, she fell down. She's gotten up. What a clever girl. Look, she's up on all fours and she's going to start crawling. What a clever girl Toodles is. Look at Toodles, she's fallen asleep touching her toes. We hope you enjoyed the history section of this video. We will now move on to some fun dolly role play.
Okay, everybody, now that the humans have left the nursery, I'm now calling a meeting. Gather around, dollies and toys. There's somebody new that I want to introduce you to. Hurry up before the humans return. Everyone meet Sherry. She has come all the way from America, so you make her feel welcomed into our nursery.
Hi, I'm Rosie. My name is
Hi, I'm Big Ted.
I like to dance. I'm Lucy. I'm
Silence! We don't have long before the humans will return. Cherry will be hanging out on our side of the nursery with the rest of us vintage dolls. Cherry, I'm going to give you a rundown on how things work around here. The realistic dolls live next door on the shelf. The porcelain dolls live on the shelf over the bed. The Malik bunnies and the soft toys are near the door. They help us keep watch for the humans. And the reborn dolls live all the way on the other side of the nursery. Word of advice: don't let those reborn dolls make you think they are more special than you just because they've been hand painted by a dedicated artist. They're noisy, that lot, always crying and squawking, which is why they've been put all the way over there so we can get some peace and quiet. We have one main rule in the nursery that everyone must abide by. The humans must never know that we are real. They will come into the nursery to look at us and change our clothes and play with us. Even when they are playing with us, we must not show them that we are real. If you get yourself into a sticky situation, freeze like a statue or lay on the ground and pretend you're not real. Got it?
Okay, I could do that. We used to do the same thing in my old nursery in America. Quick! The humans are coming!
Quick, assume your positions, everyone. All freeze on the floor.
Oh gosh, look at this mess in the nursery. Looks like Totty's been playing in here and hasn't put things back. Totty, can you come here, please?
Yes, Mama?
Look, you know I don't mind you playing with the dolls in the nursery, but please remember to put them back in their proper spots afterwards. This isn't good leaving them on the floor.
But Mama, I wasn't playing in here. I was doing my homework.
Okay, run along and finish your homework and I will finish cleaning up here. Oh, gosh, kids, they'll make any excuse to get out of cleaning up and tidying. Okay, Audrey, let's get you back up onto the shelf where you belong. Oh, that's better. All the girls are back in their proper place. Oh, Big Ted, let's put you back now. Oh, there we go. I don't know how on earth Totty managed to reach up here. She's not tall enough to get up here. Oh. Okay, all done. Time to go.
Phew, that was a really close call that time. Cherry, you pass with fine colours, so welcome to the nursery. As for you other slackers who didn't make it back to their proper spot in time, you had better pick your socks up, otherwise I will be running the human emergency drills again.
Yuck, not the drills again.
We really appreciate you being here today and hope you enjoyed seeing some of our vintage dolls today. If you did, please remember to give this video a thumbs up because it really helps us out. And we look forward to seeing you for part 2 of the Toodles and Friends Vintage Dolls series. Blessings to all our dear dolly friends wherever you are in the world. We love you and look forward to you joining us in our next video. And if we don't see you during the week, we'll see you next Sunday. Bye everyone. Bye until then.